Hi friends, you're welcome to my channel. So here we have a beautiful radical equation that's actually radicalized, okay? And we are to find the value of x, assuming that the square root of 3x squared minus 7x minus 30 plus the square root of 2x squared minus 7x minus 5 is equal to x plus 5. Okay, so calm down. All right, so you do not let questions like this trouble you at all. Now normally if we have a radical equation, usually you would have just one radical in such equations. So for instance, you can have something like square root of x plus 1 maybe plus 6 is equal to, let me say, 17 or 15. Okay, and you are asked to find the value of x. All right, so for this kind of equation, we would always say take every other thing to the other side. In fact, this 6 can actually be x, and then you will still get a solution, very beautiful one. Right, so take this to the other side and then take the square of both sides, because the focus when it comes to solving radical equations is first, how do I clear the radicals? Because if you don't clear those radicals, the square roots, now it will be difficult, in fact not possible, to solve that particular equation, because the radical is like a hold, a strong man, and the expression under it are like captives. Okay, so you would need to set the captives free to be able to solve the equations. All right, so what do we do here? In other words, we also would need to clear the radicals here, but in this case there are two of them. So what do you do? Now the first thing you must note is that you cannot keep the two radicals on one part of the equation. So you would have to take one to the other part of the equation, even though there's an existing expression there. But it is better to have the two of them there than to have two radicals on one side of an equation. The reason is because it will give you much stress to evaluate. In fact, the radicals will remain by the time you do your expansion. That's by squaring both sides. All right, so what do we do now? We can take one of these. So I will let the first one remain. I will have the square root of 3x squared minus 7x minus 30 to now be equal to, all right, so when this square root crosses over to that side, you will get minus the root of 2x squared. Right, so that's a good progress. Okay, so what do we do now? Take the square of both sides. So I'm going to square this side, and I'm going to square this other side. Remember, you're squaring everything on that side. So what happens? The square root here is taken away by the square. That's the job, and that's what we want to achieve. Okay, so what you've got left now is 3x squared minus 7x minus 30. All right, and that is equal to, okay, so on this side now it is just like having a minus b squared. This is the same thing as a minus b multiplied by a minus b. It means x times x. So if you have a minus b squared, it is a minus b times a minus b, and that's exactly what we are going to have here. Do I need to do that expansion? Okay, let me do it. So here we would have, let me use block brackets still. So I'm going to have x plus 5 here, let me bring down this other one, 2x squared minus 7x minus 5. Remember, all of these are under square root, so I'm going to close this bracket and then open another one as a multiplication, and then I will also have x plus 5 minus, let me shift this way, permit me to do that. Okay, so here we will now have the square root of 2x squared minus 7x minus 5. Okay, and then we can close our bracket. All right, so now the left hand side seems all right. So we are going to allow the left hand side remain there until we are able to get a reasonable simplification of our right hand side. So let's begin. Now just like what I wrote here, you would see that our a is the whole, like what I have here. My a now is the whole of x plus 5. So I'm going to be carrying x plus 5 to multiply this. This is the implication of what I'm saying, is that you're going to have this times this and then times this also, and at the end of that this one will do the same. Okay, so let's take the first one. So x plus 5 times x plus 5 is x plus 5 squared. Okay, let's put it this, or let me put it as square. All right, so then x plus 5 times this one, remember there's minus there, that will be minus x plus 5, then multiplied by the square root of 2x squared minus 7x minus 5. Okay, so I am done with x plus 5 now. So I'm going to do the same thing with this guy now. So this guy will multiply this person and also multiply this guy. Okay, so we are going to do that expansion now. Let me use this. So this times this is going to be of course this one is positive, so the other one is negative, so it will still give us exactly the same thing as what we have here. Minus will change to plus, and then remember that if you have square root of x times square root of x, this is going to give you square root of x squared, which is just x alone, so the square roots will cancel out. Okay, so that means I am going to have only the value under the square root here, which is 2x squared minus 7x then minus 5. So since this sign here is positive, no need putting this in bracket. Assuming this was negative, that minus would multiply everything, so I would have needed to put that expression in a bracket. Okay, so we have to expand this. If we expand this, we are going to get x squared plus this will be 5x, so you have 5x plus 5x, which is 10x, and then 5 times 5 is 25. Take your time to do that expansion so you'll be sure of what I just wrote here. And then on this case, these two are like terms, so you bring them together, just as if you have something like a root x plus a root x. Okay, sorry. All right, so this is the same thing as a plus a, which is 2a then root x. So here I have minus minus, that's going to give me minus 2, okay, into x plus 5. All right, and then okay, so and then we bring down this guy, and that will be 2x squared. Okay, so and then the next will be to collect like terms. Of course, we have x squared, 2x squared, and that's going to give us 3x squared. Now we have 10x and we have minus 7x, which will give us 3x. And finally we have 25 minus 5, and that's going to give us 20. Okay, so you have to keep this, but then you would have to try to open the brackets here. If we do that, we are going to get 2x plus 10. But remember that they are still multiplying these guys, so I will still put them in a bracket. So at this time we will need to bring in, okay, so at this time we would need to bring in our left hand side. So let's bring it down. All right, in bringing it down, remember it is 3x squared minus 7x minus 30. Okay, so you can see something beautiful here. And what is that? 3x squared is on both sides of the equation, so two of them can cancel out. All right, and then here I have 7x. Okay, so I can take all these other two to the other side of the equation, and when that happens, 3x coming over here will become minus 3x, and that is going to give me minus 7 minus 3, which is minus 10x. And then 20 will come over here and will become, then on this side I will just have minus 2x. This radical equation is really radical, but it's so beautiful. Okay, if you follow your analogy very well, you will get something nice. So what am I going to do here? I will try to see if I can cancel out this. And is it possible? If I bring out minus 5, actually, that's going to give me minus 5 into what you will have left here will be 2x, and then minus 5 dividing this will give you plus 10, right? And that's equal to minus 2x plus 10 into, now minus here will cancel this minus, 2x plus 10 will cancel 2x plus 10. So on the left hand side I have only 5 left, and then on the right hand side I have only the square root of 2x squared minus 7x minus 5 left. And that has gotten us the kind of equation I told you that normally a radical equation should look like. Only one radical. And it is easy now to finish up what we want. Take the square root to the other side, or just take the square of both sides. If I square both sides now, this guy will take away the square root. So this side is now 25 is equal to 2x squared minus 7x. So this is going to become 2x squared minus 7x. If this 25 comes over here, it becomes minus 25, and that will give us minus 30 equal to 0. And so we need to solve this quadratic equation, and that is very easy to see. Let's try that. So there we are going to have, let's see if factorization will do it. If you multiply 2 by minus 30, that's minus 60. So you are looking for two numbers that you multiply to get minus 60, and you will add to get minus 7. And it's easy to see, minus 12 and plus 5. Beautiful. Okay, so use those two to replace what you have in the middle. So you are going to get 2x squared minus 12x, then plus 5x, and then bring down your minus 30 equal to 0. I'm taking you through the process of factorization. And so here you can form two brackets, and then you factor out. So you have a common term here, 2x, and so you bring out 2x, and then here you will have only x left, and here you will have minus 6. Okay, and then on the second bracket, the common term there is 5. So I'll bring out 5. Here I will have only x, and here I will have minus 6. Of course, one of the ways you will be sure that your factorization is correct is that the brackets will be common. That means both brackets will have the same values. So here you gather what you have inside of the bracket, outside of the bracket, and so we'll have 2x plus 5, and that is, you now pick one of the brackets, which is x minus 6, as equal to 0, and then immediately you are going to have that your 2x is plus 5 is equal to 0, or your x minus 6 is equal to 0, and you are done. Therefore, we have that our x, the first x, is equal to, if you take this over, you have minus 5 all over 2, okay? And then, or by the time you take minus 6 over, you get the other x as 6, right? So the solution to this problem is x equal to minus 5 over 2 or equal to 6. And that's what the question said that we should do, that we should find the value of x. And that is all I said to show you in this video. If you understood what we did here, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and do give a thumbs up to our video. Share to your friends and your colleagues. We'll see you in another content. Bye.